Learn to say no. Setting boundaries is crucial for maintaining balance, and focus is more than just a simple self-help mantra. It represents a transformative principle rooted in personal development, emotional intelligence, and sustainable productivity. The concept focuses on the essential skill of boundary setting, which empowers individuals to protect their time, energy, and mental well-being. By learning to say no, people can better define their priorities, reduce stress, and maintain healthy relationships in both personal and professional spheres. At the heart of this principle is the understanding that time and energy are finite resources. Many individuals struggle with overcommitment, often out of desire to please others, fear of conflict, or anxiety about missing opportunities. This can lead to burnout, resentment, and a lack of clarity in one's goals. Learning to say no helps to filter out distractions and align actions with personal values and long-term objectives. It teaches individuals to recognize what is truly important and to act in ways that honor their own needs without guilt. This approach also encourages self-respect and teaches others how to treat you. When a person consistently communicates their limits and honors them, it sets a standard for mutual respect. Saying no becomes a statement of confidence rather than defiance, allowing for more authentic interactions. It builds trust in relationships, as people learn that your yes means yes, and your no is equally sincere. In a professional context, the ability to set boundaries can improve productivity and focus. Rather than scattering attention across numerous tasks and obligations, individuals who say no strategically can concentrate on high-impact work. Leaders and team members alike benefit from this clarity, as it contributes to more efficient workflows, realistic expectations, and a workplace culture that respects individual limits. From a psychological standpoint, setting boundaries is vital for emotional well-being. It helps individuals avoid chronic stress, prevents emotional exhaustion, and fosters a sense of control over one's life. It encourages introspection, asking questions like, what am I comfortable with? What drains me? What am I compromising by saying yes? In answering these, one gains greater self-awareness and the courage to advocate for oneself. The journey of learning to say no is not always easy. It often involves overcoming deeply ingrained habits, social conditioning, and the discomfort of disappointing others. However, the payoff is a more balanced life where time and energy are directed purposefully. Saying no opens space for deeper focus, better health, stronger boundaries, and the freedom to say yes to what truly matters. Ultimately, learn to say no is a call to reclaim your attention, prioritize your values, and shape your life with intention. It's a mindset that transforms indecision into clarity and overwhelm into peace, serving as a foundational step toward a more empowered and meaningful life. Embracing this principle does not mean becoming rigid or uncooperative. On the contrary, it cultivates discernment, knowing when to say yes with genuine enthusiasm and when to say no out of self-respect. It sharpens the ability to listen to your inner voice and trust it, instead of being swayed by external pressure or guilt. This balance leads to deeper satisfaction in the commitments one does choose to make, because they are rooted in authenticity rather than obligation. As people grow more comfortable with saying no, they begin to notice positive shifts. There is more time for rest, creativity, and meaningful relationships. The constant busyness that once felt like a badge of honor is replaced with intentional living. Mental clarity improves, as a mind is no longer cluttered with the noise of unnecessary responsibilities. Emotional resilience strengthens, because energy is no longer depleted by trying to meet everyone else's expectations. This practice also models healthy behavior for others. In families, workplaces, and social circles, those who set clear boundaries often inspire others to do the same. It becomes a ripple effect. When people witness someone saying no respectfully and confidently, it shows that it's not only acceptable but beneficial to prioritize one's own needs. Over time, this can help shift cultural norms that glorify overwork and self-neglect into ones that value well-being and balance. Technology and social media have made the ability to say no even more essential. With constant notifications, messages, and demands for attention, it's easy to fall into a pattern of constant availability. However, always being on comes at a cost. Learning to disconnect, to pause, and to choose silence over constant engagement is a modern form of saying no, one that is vital for mental health in today's fast-paced world. Children and young adults can especially benefit from learning this skill early. Teaching them that they are allowed to say no, whether to peer pressure, extra commitments, or even just overstimulation, can help them build confidence and emotional maturity. It gives them tools to navigate life with stronger self-worth and a clearer sense of direction. Learning to say no is also about healing. For those who have experienced trauma, codependency, or low self-esteem, boundary setting can be a powerful act of reclaiming autonomy. It may begin with small steps, declining a request, asking for space, or simply acknowledging discomfort. Over time, these small acts build into a stronger foundation of self-trust and empowerment. In essence, learning to say no is a lifelong practice. It evolves with one's circumstances and self-awareness, always requiring courage, presence, and compassion. But in return, it offers freedom, the freedom to be honest, to live with purpose, and to honor the most important relationship of all, the one you have with yourself. By learning to say no, you're not closing doors. You're choosing the right ones to walk through. You're not withdrawing from life, but rather stepping more fully into it, with clarity, intention, and peace. As this practice becomes a natural part of daily life, it begins to weave itself into one's identity, not as a wall to keep others out, but as a filter to allow only what truly aligns with your values, goals, and emotional capacity. The clarity that comes with this shift is transformative. You no longer find yourself questioning whether you're doing enough, or feeling guilty for not stretching yourself thin. Instead, you operate from a grounded place, where your decisions are deliberate and your presence is whole. Saying no also creates space for saying yes to rest, creativity, and spontaneity, things that often get sacrificed in the hustle to meet endless obligations. When the noise dies down, what emerges is the ability to hear your own thoughts, to reconnect with your passions, and to engage more meaningfully with the world around you. This space is where personal growth flourishes. You begin to rediscover what lights you up, and this authenticity infuses everything you do. Relationships, too, take on a healthier dynamic. When you set boundaries, you stop enabling patterns of dependency or imbalance. You no longer say yes out of fear of being unloved or unaccepted. Instead, your connections are built on mutual respect and genuine care. The people who value your well-being will not be offended by your no. They'll honor it. And those who push against your boundaries reveal themselves not as people you need to keep pleasing, but as opportunities for deeper self-protection. There's also a subtle but powerful shift in how others perceive you. When you are someone who can say no with kindness and firmness, it signals strength, maturity, and self-awareness. You become someone who is trusted to speak truthfully, to respect your own limits, and by extension, to respect others. This builds a reputation not only for integrity but for reliability, because people know you won't agree to something unless you intend to follow through with intention and care. Over time, you develop a deeper trust in yourself. Each time you say no, you reaffirm your commitment to your own growth and peace of mind. And while external validation may still occasionally pull at you, it no longer has the same hold. You begin to realize that living according to your own truth is the most profound act of self-respect. This journey is not linear. There will be moments of doubt, situations where saying no feels risky, and times when old patterns resurface. That's part of the process. What matters is a consistency with which you return to yourself, choosing again and again to protect your peace, prioritize your purpose, and live in alignment. With each decision, you get closer to the life you truly want, not the one others expect of you, but the one you intentionally build day by day. Learning to say no is ultimately about reclaiming your power. It's about knowing that you don't have to do it all, be everything to everyone, or sacrifice yourself to be worthy. You are enough as you are. And every time you choose to honor your boundaries, you remind yourself and the world that your energy is sacred, your time is valuable, and your life is yours to shape. And in this shaping of your life, the word no becomes less about rejection and more about redirection. It's not a door slammed shut, but a compass pointing toward what genuinely matters to you. With each no, you're saying yes to your inner clarity, your health, your goals, and your emotional freedom. You're making space, not just for rest or solitude, but for deeper purpose, intentional relationships, and the joy that can only come from living on your own terms. What's powerful is that saying no doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be soft but firm, gentle but clear. It can sound like, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I'll have to pass. Oh, thanks for the invite, but I need some time to recharge. It's the quiet courage to honor your limits without explanation, apology, or guilt. With practice, your language becomes more natural and your confidence grows, not in the absence of fear, but in your decision to stay true to yourself despite it. In creative pursuits, saying no is especially vital. The world constantly asks for more output, more content, more engagement. But creativity doesn't thrive under pressure to constantly perform. It thrives in the quiet spaces where the mind can wander, reflect, and reconnect with curiosity. By saying no to distractions or unnecessary commitments, you protect the fertile ground where your best ideas are born. The same applies to leadership. Strong leaders are the ones who say yes to everything. They're the ones who set a clear vision, protect their team's focus, and model boundaries from the top. They understand that 1,000 small yeses can scatter a team's energy, while a few thoughtful no's can keep everyone aligned, efficient, and energized. Saying no becomes not just an act of personal care, but of collective responsibility. Financially, saying no can be just as freeing. It helps people resist impulsive spending, social pressure to keep up appearances, or investing in things that don't add real value to their lives. Boundaries around money are a form of self-respect. 2. They create room for stability, freedom, and the ability to make long-term decisions that align with your goals rather than temporary emotional fixes. Even in love and friendship, the healthiest relationships are built on the freedom to say no without fear of losing connection. In fact, when someone can tell you no, and you can accept it with grace, it's a sign of maturity, trust, and emotional safety. It means a relationship is strong enough to hold honesty. And when both people in a relationship feel safe to voice their needs and limits, what you build together becomes more authentic, respectful, and enduring. Eventually, the fear of saying no begins to fade. In its place grows a quiet pride, a sense of integrity. You realize that your life no longer feels like a collection of obligations, but a reflection of conscious choices. You begin to feel lighter, more present, more powerful in your ability to steer your own course. And ironically, by saying no more often, the things you say yes to become more meaningful because you've made room for them with intention. This is a true reward of learning to say no, a life that feels like yours. Not borrowed, not stretched thin, not shaped by obligation or fear, but lived with clarity, depth, and authenticity. Saying no, then, is not an end, it's a beginning of a life designed not by accident, but by choice. And in that choice lies your greatest power.